Lila loved to visit her grandma's house. She always found something new and exciting to explore. But her favorite thing was the old mirror in the attic. It was a huge oval-shaped mirror with a golden frame and intricate carvings. Lila liked to imagine that it was a portal to another world. A world where everything was reversed. One day when she was alone in the attic, she decided to try something. She took a marker and wrote Lila on her palm. Then she held it up to the mirror and saw Lil. She smiled and thought. That's my name in the mirror world. She wondered what else would be different in the mirror world. She looked around the attic and saw a dusty trunk, a rocking horse, a pile of books and a stuffed bear. She thought. Maybe in the mirror world the trunk is full of treasures, the horse can talk, the books are magical and the bear is alive. She felt a sudden urge to find out. She walked closer to the mirror and touched it with her hand. To her surprise, it felt cold and smooth like glass. She pushed harder and felt her hand go through. She gasped and pulled it back. She looked at her hand and saw that it was still normal. She thought maybe it only works if I go through completely. She took a deep breath and stepped into the mirror. She felt a strange sensation like falling through water. She closed her eyes and when she opened them again she was in the attic. But everything was different. The trunk was open and filled with jewels and coins. The horse was neighing and rocking by itself. The books were glowing and floating in the air. And the bear was sitting on a chair wearing a hat and glasses. Lila couldn't believe her eyes. She had entered the mirror world. She walked around and explored the amazing things. She tried on some of the jewels from the trunk. She rode on the horse and listened to its stories. She read some of the books. And she talked to the bear, who was very wise and funny. She had so much fun that she lost track of time. She didn't notice that the sun was setting and the sky was getting dark. She suddenly remembered that she had to go back to her grandma's house. She said goodbye to the horse, the books and the bear. She ran to the mirror and tried to go through. But nothing happened. She pushed harder and harder but it felt like solid metal. She panicked and asked the bear why can't she go through. The bear took one look at her palm and said, you forgot to reverse your name, Lila. Every time you enter a mirror world you are supposed to reverse your name, else it becomes your reality. She realized that she had made a terrible mistake. Now she was trapped. She screamed for help but no one heard her. She cried and cried but no one came. She leaves the attic and goes downstairs. She looks around the house and sees that everything is reversed. The furniture, the paintings, the clocks, everything. She wonders if her grandma is in the mirror world too. She calls out her name but there is no answer. She feels lonely and scared. She decides to look for a mirror in the bathroom. She opens the door and sees a small round mirror above the sink. She runs to it and holds up her palm. She sees a Lil. She smiles and thinks, this is it, this is my way out. She steps into the mirror and hopes for the best. Lila enters another mirror world where everything is different again. She finds herself in a forest surrounded by trees and flowers. She hears birds singing and animals rustling. She thinks, wow, this is beautiful. Maybe this is the mirror world of nature. She walks around and admires the scenery. She sees a stream and decides to drink some water. She bends down and sees her reflection in the water. She sees Lila. She realizes that she has to reverse her name again. She takes out her marker and writes Alil on her palm. She holds it up to the water and sees Lila. She thinks, okay, this is confusing but I guess it makes sense. The water is like a mirror too. She steps into the water and hopes for the best. She goes to another mirror world where everything is different again. She finds herself in a city surrounded by skyscrapers and cars. She hears horns honking and people shouting. She thinks, wow, this is crazy. Maybe this is the mirror world of technology. She walks around and tries to avoid the traffic. She sees a billboard and decides to look at it. She looks up and sees her reflection in the glass. She sees a Lil. She realizes that she has to reverse her name again. She takes out her marker and writes Lila on her palm. She holds it up to the glass and sees a Lil. She thinks. Okay. This is getting annoying. But I guess I have to keep trying. She steps into the glass and hopes for the best. She goes to another mirror world where everything is different again. She finds herself in a desert surrounded by sand and rocks. She hears wind blowing and snakes hissing. She thinks. Wow, this is awful. Maybe this is the mirror world of emptiness. She walks around and tries to find some shade. She sees a cave and decides to enter it. She sees a pool of water and decides to look at it. She sees her reflection in the water. She sees Lila. She realizes that she has to reverse her name again. She takes out her marker and writes Alil on her palm. She holds it up to the water and sees Lila. She thinks. Okay, this is hopeless. But I guess I have no choice. She steps into the water and hopes for the best. She finds herself in the bathroom of her grandma's house. She is overjoyed and hugs her grandma, who is surprised and confused. She tells her everything that happened and they laugh and cry together. She is glad to be back and vows to never enter the mirror world again. She looks at her palm and sees a lil. She thinks maybe I should erase this. Just in case. She takes a tissue and wipes off the marker. She sees Lila. She smiles and thinks. That's my name in the normal world.